Feet are neglected friends that we often forget about until they start talking back to us. Today we're going to go through several strengthening and stretching exercises for our feet. You're going to need a towel rolled up about here. You're also going to need something to roll our feet out with, either like a tennis ball or like a hard water bottle. Also grab a blanket for your knees. Also grab a stack of books or 2 blocks. Now, if you're using the stack of books on our feet raised portion, make sure you don't use a stack, use a singular book because we don't want to have any slippages. Also, the full expression of that exercise is to lift the foot not supported by the towel. I didn't have the support of the wall and I didn't feel like falling over, so I did not do the full expression. Also, in the beginning of class, you'll have the option to sit in a chair or on the floor, so feel free to grab a chair if you would like. And that's it. Have fun. Bye. All right, let's get started here. Either finding a seat in a chair or sitting on the ground. If you're on the ground, maybe grabbing a block or a blanket for underneath your hips. If you're seated in a chair, bring one leg over your knee if that is comfortable. If you're sitting on the ground, staying right where you are, or bringing one ankle to rest on top of the opposite knee. If there's a huge gap between your other knee and your foot, you can place a block there. Whichever foot is on top, go ahead and interlace the fingers in between your toes. Take a few moments and get comfortable with that. And wherever you are, inhale up nice and tall. Exhale here. As we're starting out, we're going to notice our breath and see how it feels in the body while we're holding this stretch. With every inhale, imagining the spine lengthening. With every exhale, feeling the sits bones press into the ground or chair. Be sure to relax the face muscles, your shoulders. And as you breathe, feel the belly rise and fall. Take one last breath here and let it go, and slowly begin to switch your legs. And then whenever you're ready, interlace the fingers on the other foot. And inhale nice and tall. Exhale, feeling the sits bones root down. Feel the belly rise and fall. And see if you can get the breath to be equal length. Keep breathing. Relax any last remaining tension from the face, the shoulders, belly. One last deep breath in. And let it go. And coming into hands and knees wherever you are, putting a blanket underneath your knees for extra cushion, making sure that the toes are turned down, either staying here or exhale yourself back onto your heels, fire toes. If this is too intense, please come back to the tabletop position, but keep your toes tucked. If you need to, adjust your toes if they become a little untucked or a little wonky. Wherever you are, inhale tall or long. Exhale here, few breaths. Take one last deep breath in here. And release. Coming back to hands and knees, untuck the toes and bang out the feet real good. And let it go. Coming back to hands and knees, toes tucked or untucked. Inhale the right leg behind you, setting the toes down, right leg long. Inhale to rock yourself forward. Exhale to rock yourself back, pushing the heel behind you. Keep going with your breath, articulating through your legs. And on your next exhale, really sit the right heel back, feeling that stretch in the back of the leg. Release, moving to the other side. Inhale out the left leg, setting the left toes down. Articulate through the foot with the breath. And on your next exhale, reach through your left heel, feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. Relax the shoulders and face if they're beginning to tense up. And release. Coming back into tabletop and then to standing. And grabbing the object you're going to use to roll out your feet and moving towards a wall. And let's start rolling. Imagining the object is a vacuum cleaner and you want to pick up every last speck of dust on the bottom of your foot. If you're using a cylinder-shaped object, just continue to go back and forth, maybe using the edge and angling your foot to get a little bit more spots. While you're here, see if you can return back to your breath, feeling tall on the inhales. Exhale, pressing through your feet. Take about one more breath here. And let it go. Moving to the other side and begin to roll out here. Check back in with your breath and your body. And notice if one foot was more tense than the other, or if you have any spots that are more tender. Keep working with it and keep breathing. Check back in with the breath once again. Belly rise, belly fall. Few last breaths here. One last deep breath in. And let it go. Finding your blocks or books and getting those all ready. Also make sure you have your towel handy. If you're using books instead of a block here, make sure that you use only a singular book or stay on the ground. Try to avoid using a stack of books. Roll up your towel a little bit and place it underneath your toes, making sure that the ball of your foot is still on the block or book, letting the heel hang off. What we're going to do here is gently lift our heel up to the sky and lower it. Let's do that 8 times. If you need to, come down on the floor and do the same motion. Making sure the spine is straight and long. Keep breathing. Whenever you've done 8, go ahead and switch to the other side, lining up the towel underneath the toes, balls of the feet on the block, the heel hanging off. Go up and down 8 times, spine long, breathe. All right, let it go. If you want to use stacked books here, you can. Making sure that the top balls of your feet line up with the edge of the top of your books or your block. Adjust the stack if it seems to be too tall or too small. Now we got that measured. Stand behind your block about a foot behind it. Bring one foot forward and line it up with the top of your books or block. Bend both knees, making sure the spine is straight. And stay here, inhaling tall. Exhale, feel that stretch. If you feel comfortable here, you can rock the front foot left and right, articulating through the ankle and the heel. Keep breathing. Straighten both legs as much as comfortable, keeping them bent if it seems to be too intense. Staying here and feeling it out. If you need more, begin to walk the back foot in, the most intense being placing the back foot on the block, completely off the ground and see what feels good. Another option here is instead of walking the foot in, you can pretend to take a step with the back foot, but not bringing the back foot completely up off the mat. Play around with it and see what feels good to you. And release. Making sure that you have one foot at least planted on the ground, bringing the block foot behind you so that the top of your foot rests on the ground like a pretty ballerina. Stay here and breathe. And release. Moving to the other side now, standing behind your block and bringing one foot forward to rest on the block. Bend both knees, staying here, seeing how it feels. If you like this, you can rock the front foot from side to side, articulating through the ankle and the heel. Remembering to keep the breath nice and smooth, spine long. And whenever you feel ready, you can straighten both legs. Take a moment, see how it feels. And if you want more of a challenge, walking the back foot in, or take those imaginary steps, the back foot stays on the ground completely. Keep breathing. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and release it, making sure one foot is on the ground stable, allowing the block foot to come behind you, top of the foot on the mat. Inhaling tall. Exhale here. And release. Shake it out both sides and just notice, look at your feet, spread those toes. Thank you so much for joining me today.